The border crisis coming to President Biden's front door as states brace for a surge in illegal crossings once the White House ends the Trump-era Title 42 policy, which allows border officials to quickly deport large groups of migrants. Texas Governor Greg Abbott making some big news after announcing a plan to bus migrants from his state to Washington, D.C., but conceding today that it would be voluntary.
Joe Biden has refused to come to the border to see the chaos that he has created by his open border policies. So we're going to take the border to him. With regard to the voluntary component of it, understand this, and that is, Dana, if I were to go to Washington, D.C. And take you and put you on a bus and take you down to the Rio Grande Valley, that would be kidnapping. Same thing applies to anybody who refuses to get onto a bus. That would be kidnapping, even though it would be by a law enforcement agency. So there are laws that have to be followed in this process.
The White House hitting back at Governor Abbott's announcement.
Now that the Texas governor is saying that he's going to start busing border crossers to Washington, D.C., when they get here, are you guys going to help them find a place to stay and something for them to do?
Well, I'm not aware of what authority the governor would be doing that under. I think it's pretty clear this is a publicity stunt. I know that the governor of Texas or any state does not have the legal authority to compel anyone to get on a bus.
Republicans aren't the only ones sounding the alarm on Title 42. A growing number of Senate Democrats are also raising concerns with what ending the policy will do to their states. Many of those, Jesse, are in tough re-election races, but not all.
Man, if I came from El Salvador and I made it to Texas and they put me on a bus to D.C., I'd want to go back to El Salvador. Have you been down there recently? They got to clean that place up. Schellenberger, your friend out in California, said the other day on Rogan's show, which I'm listening to now, it's not bad. He said the left is obsessed with what we call radical hospitality, where they will just allow people to just shoot up drugs in the middle of the street in broad daylight or just waltz into the country with their hands out. And that's what's happening. Now, I knew parents like that who had kids that let them do whatever they wanted, and these kids turned into disasters. And that's what Joe is doing to this country. The feds are responsible for immigration, but if the feds are going to be irresponsible and not enforce it, then the states can't just lay down. They have to do something. Abbott had Operation Lone Star unveiled last year, where they put about 10,000 National Guards down to the border to nail people for trespassing on private property. But it's costing a fortune. So now his hands are tied. He can only do so much. This is just a stunt to embarrass the president into actually doing his job. And then they give him phones. Right? First, they have the Obama phone. Remember the Obama phone? Now they have a Biden phone. What are they going to give them, like signed copies of How I Saved the World? I mean, how much free stuff are these people going to get? You give them $1,000, you give them airfare, and you give them a phone. Can they download apps? Can they tweet? Hashtag I made it to Estados Unidos. This is absurd, and everybody knows that. You don't need a phone to be able to track people, do you? Right? All you need, you know when you go to the deli and you try to get in line, they give you a little slip of paper? That's all you need. What the date is and where to show up. If they're taking this seriously, that date is the most important date of their lives. I think they can commit it to memory. And if they are actually using the phones as a tracking device, then good. If they don't show up to the hearing, then go find them and deport them. But they're not doing that.
They can't.
Joe Biden not only,
can't.
well, legally maybe not, but they should. And Joe Biden has not only broken all the records on illegal border entries, he's also broken the records for the least amount of deportations. And that's by design. Opening the border is the best thing he's actually done in his administration.
Is this your monologue?
Because he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Is this your monologue? This counts.
No, but I mean, come on. You can't give people everything.
The White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki talked about the phones today. If you can play that sound for us. Thank you.
We need to take steps to ensure that we know where individuals are and we can track and we can check in with them. The Alternatives to Detention program is what we utilize, has 3 unique forms of technology to monitor participants enrolled in the program.
Any concern by folks around here that these migrants will take the phones and just toss them? And then,
do you have a record of people throwing phones away?
I'm just asking if that's a concern.
Our concern is ensuring that individuals who irregularly migrate to the United States proceed through our process of, of course, being monitored, but also participating in hearings to determine whether or not they will be able to stay.
Judge Janine, what do you think of all this?
This is political theater. That's all it is. The Biden administration, by ending Title 42, is being reckless with the economy, with national security, as well as with our health. You know, by making sure that we still have kids masked in schools while they've been coming through the border since January of 2021 without even being tested. I mean, why are they being treated differently? But here's the thing that's most interesting about the phone. You're going to give these guys a phone, and she just said, so that we can check in or track them. The way they plan on doing it is with some kind of biometric. They're saying that they take the voice imprint, and then they can be sure that the person who answers the phone is a person they gave the phone to. That's hogwash, and I'll tell you why. They don't have the number of people in the Homeland Security to make the phone calls to check in on them. They don't know where they are. They don't know if they threw the phone away. They don't know if the phone is charged or not charged. This is nothing more than theater. And so here's the question. What is the president's end game here? Will they give these old excuses like, you Americans, we're going to shut you down, but all you illegals, you come through, and we don't care who you are. We don't care if you're MS-13. We're not going to discriminate, okay? And then they say, you know what? If you need asylum, all 18,000 of you are coming through a day, which the way I figure it is almost 150,000 a week, which is about 600,000 a month we're going to be able to have them call, and we're going to call them back. Who's going to pay for this? We are. What is Joe Biden's end game? What is he looking to accomplish in this country?
Jessica, do you want to answer that?
So I don't think that this is where Joe Biden actually wants to be. So there's been a lot of pressure from immigration groups on him from the left flank that are saying we need to get rid of this Title 42, which, by the way, is a public health measure. It's not an immigration policy. So we need to be clear about that. This was put in place when COVID started sweeping the world to make sure that we were not letting people in here who were infected with the disease, certainly before we had vaccinations. So first and foremost, that. Joe Biden is part of a group of moderate Democrats, including Hillary Clinton and others, who have talked about stricter border enforcement over the years. So I don't think that this is his natural position on it. But when you do look at the studies in terms of people who do show up for that court date, as Jesse said, the most important date of your life, it's a large percentage of them. It's majority, and in some studies, it's over 90% of them. In terms of the calls, I don't think that it's going to necessarily work, that they have a phone and they're going to call and check in and that we have the staff to do that. But what we need is a cohesive immigration policy here that's going to satisfy those border Democrats like Kelly and Sinema, and frankly, the President of the United States of America. But picking on Title 42 as part of this, when it's just a public health measure, doesn't get us any closer to that policy.
But just yesterday, the Biden administration said if you have a student loan, you don't have to pay that because of the public health measure.
Right.
But Title 42, they're going to get rid of because they don't have a health crisis?
Yeah, and we still have kids in New York who are wearing masks under the age of 4. I think that the problem with the phone thing is it's just a waste of money, but it doesn't matter because it's our money. I think that's the big problem. I'm for stricter border enforcement, but I will take 5 illegal immigrants over 1 gender studies grad any day.
Yeah.
But that's not the issue. It's not about the people. It's never been about the people. It's always been about the process. You know, we all, Americans, kind of want the same goal. We love immigrants. They come here, they become great Americans. Sometimes they're better Americans than the Americans we got here. We kind of know that. The thing is, though, when you're a Republican or a Libertarian, you're kind of also into the idea of a process or a system, not just the goal. And the Democrats suffer from only having goals and no systems. This idea of transporting illegal immigrants to D.C. or Texas is just kind of D.C. or Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you should deal with landlocked privilege. You know, big cities delight in cheap labor of illegal immigrants, so they scoff at border states who are driven to exhaustion because they got to deal with the problem right there, and then they're often called racist for trying to do the right thing. We still haven't seen the investigation of Whipgate, in which one guy, one border dude was just demonized because he was trying to control the border. But these are issues that the Dems ignore because they don't feel the repercussions. With the crime wave, there's no repercussions because they get private security. Lockdowns and masks, they still get to go to the French Laundry, right? They can still take selfies with celebrities. Then you have the border. It's not their state, but I get the people to do my dishes. So there you go. So I like the idea of actually, even It's got to be possible. I think some people will get on the bus.
They might.
You know, Delaware's a nice place. I've been there. D.C., there's some nice neighborhoods if you know where to go. And the Democrats shouldn't complain about this because they were the instigators with sanctuary cities, where they chose to virtue signal this false compassion at the expense of their citizens.
Can I say one thing, Dana? You know, one of the things that Jen Psaki said, she said nearly 80% of non-citizens released at the border in DHS custody under prosecutorial discretion have either received a notice to appear or are within the window to report. So actually, the vast majority of people are appearing. That's not the case. Yeah. But I mean, everybody knows that's not the case. 80% of the illegals who've been told, you know, show up at your local immigration office are not coming in. And in fact, there are 2 studies here that said it's more like 83% are not reporting and 80% are not reporting. So, I mean, that's all theater there.
You also had Secretary Mayorkas say that it's impossible to predict what could happen. When Title 42 is lifted, I'm like, oh, no, we know exactly what's going to happen. We've seen it for the last few years.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.